He put in a ton of work. That's what you get, every night as a player like that, playing at All-Star, well, MVP, Hall of Fame level.
So as of late, I've been hearing and seeing conversations about the Kevin Durant Golden State Warriors era. And yes, I understand that Kevin Durant got swept by the Boston Celtics this year, and that also Steph Curry is en route to his fourth championship ring this year as well against the Boston Celtics. And I've been hearing conversations about who is the better player on that team, Steph Curry or Kevin Durant. And in my opinion, this conversation is very unnecessary, because the answer is clearly, in my opinion, Kevin Durant. People would not have gotten mad that Kevin Durant went to the Golden State Warriors if everybody didn't understand how great of a player he was. During that time, Kevin Durant and LeBron James was always in that conversation of who was the better player. Kevin Durant was always in that conversation. And there's a reason why there was an uproar when he went to the Golden State Warriors. I mean, people could say, yes, he left OKC, he left Russ. That's not the reason why. That's not the reason why y'all was mad. Or people was mad. That's not the reason why people was mad. They was mad because Kevin Durant is a great player, one of the greatest players to ever touch the basketball, playing with one of the greatest teams ever. You get what I'm saying? So it's like he was their security blanket. Now, with me saying Kevin Durant was the best player on the team, Steph Curry was clearly, in my opinion, the most important player as well, because Steph was still getting the same coverages as he was getting before. In my opinion, Steph is one of the most selfless players in NBA history, because the season before Kevin Durant came over, he was averaging 30 points per game. They made the finals. He could clearly been like, we don't need Kevin Durant. But he welcomed him in. Steph Curry made it be known that, look, like, this is you. Like, do your thing. Do what you got to do. Be yourself. And I feel like with Steph and the rest of the team allowing Kevin Durant to just play basketball and be himself, with a great organization, with a great, locker room, when it came to just being professionals, it worked out for Kevin Durant's favor, because Steph Curry's still getting the normal coverages that he's always been getting, right? And then you got Klay Thompson getting denied the basketball off ball. So that leaves Kevin Durant one-on-one with whoever is guarding him. And we all know how that's going to end, which was why the Golden State Warriors was so just crazy to watch, because we was really watching Kevin Durant one-on-one ISO basketball. I mean, obviously there was running plays for him and everything, but at times in that low post, mid-range area, he was getting the ball one-on-one. And in my opinion, when you want to see star players shine and perform, you was able to watch Kevin Durant play the most free basketball I've ever seen him play. So with all this being said, Kevin Durant, the best player on that team. Steph Curry, the most important player, right? This is like when people were saying, Steph Curry, the best player on the team, Klay Thompson, the second best player, but Draymond Green, the most important player, because of how he gets everybody open. He's willing to move the ball around. He's willing to give off-ball screens to everybody, So that's how I see it. But Steph being in the most important player spot because he was the superstar player that was averaging 30 points per game, who was willing to give the keys to Kevin Durant in order to win. Because he didn't need Kevin Durant to come to the Golden State Warriors, in my opinion, because he was already excelling, and he already had a running mate in Klay Thompson who was excelling as well. So everybody sacrificed on that team for Kevin Durant to be Kevin Durant, which at the end of the day, it was a win-win for everybody, from the players that was on the team to the coaching staff to the organization. It worked out for everybody, a win-win. Now, I'm pretty sure the reason why this conversation was being had is because of the recency bias on Kevin Durant being swept in the NBA playoffs against the Boston Celtics, and Steph Curry's recent success being in the NBA finals and how he's performing in the finals. So people are always trying to go back and say, you know what, seeing how these two players' progress has been since they played with each other, maybe Steph Curry was the better player after all. Which, in my opinion, that's the wrong way to go about it, because during that era, Kevin Durant was arguably the best player in the world, according to some people. And the reason why people were so mad is because a player that they considered the best player in the world joined one of the best teams in the world. And then given what he did during that team, winning 2 finals MVPs and whatnot, he was clearly the better player. We saw what he was doing on a nightly basis. Yes, Steph was performing as well, Clay was performing as well, but the best player clearly was Kevin Durant. I mean, if you looked at what he was doing, yes, Kevin Durant wasn't getting the coverage as Steph Curry, but that's why I said Steph Curry was the most important player. But the best player, day in, day out, was Kevin Durant. It was clear as day. It was clear as day. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Just my 2 cents. But I'm gonna catch y'all later, though. Be smooth, coach. Peace.